Guys, a little bit later today. It's almost 1:30. It's about 1:20, I guess. Um, Thursday afternoon, and we're getting a little bit of a late start because I took my third walk for the day. Usually, I do an early morning walk before sunrise, and then I do a early morning, mid morning walk, run. I mix it up. Sometimes I just run, sometimes I walk and run, sometimes I just walk, depends on how I feel. But I went back out in the afternoon, just about half an hour ago. As a matter of fact, I'm just out of the shower because I felt a tug. I felt turtles calling me at our turtle pond. I didn't see the big, huge ones that come up from the water, that they're covered in moss and grass. These are ancient turtles. I got to guess that some of them have to be close to 100 years old, no doubt. But I did see a couple smaller turtles sunning themselves, so it was well worth the extra walk to get out there and see them. And I'll put up some shorts in a little bit. Um, hey, our friend Hybrid Jim is here. Hi, Eric. Caught you live while I'm making dinner. Curry mushroom, that sounds good. And vegan mince with sweet potato, air fried chips. That sounds really good. Um, it's amazing when people always tell me that it's hard to cook healthy um, and have it taste good. And then you name something like that, which is so simple, and yet it sounds delicious, and I'm willing to bet that it is. Our friend Destiny Forever Walks, PhD, is here, saying hello to Hybrid. It's been a while since we've had the pleasure of having Hybrid Jim here. Although, I guess it was just a day or two ago, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, you had a new video out that I enjoyed watching. Hybrid Jim says it will be delicious, but possibly too much salt. We'll see. I guess it depends, one, on your overall salt intake for the day, how much you normally get, and two, how salty you like it. I actually don't use salt in anything. I figure that I probably naturally get enough sodium. I could be mistaken though. I would probably be served well by adding in something like Himalayan salt into my diet, just a little bit, as I do occasionally get cramps, muscle cramps, especially my toes and my fingers, without really doing anything. As a matter of fact, today, sitting in Sukhasana, which is the easy cross-legged pose, my toes cramped up, and I had to get out of it a little bit early. So, yep, I headed back out. The third walk, beautiful day. It's actually going to be close to 80 degrees. Just a few days ago, it was below freezing. Now it's over 80. And I knew there had to be turtles sunning themselves somewhere out there. And I was determined to go out and find them. And I did, fortunately. Hybrid Jim says I don't add salt per se. It's in the spice mix. That makes sense. And Destiny says Celtic sea salt is great. I've heard you mention that before, as a matter of fact. I'm going to have to look for that. Hybrid Jim says, as I'm 2 meals a day, I figure my body can deal with the excess if there's any. That's a good point as well. I'm about 4 meals a day, spread out. It's still within a 15 to 16 hour fasting day. I don't do the longer fast that I used to. I got a lot of positive effects from them. I actually really enjoy fasting. I wish I could go back to eating 1 or 2 meals a day, but it seemed to me that In order for me to get the calories that I needed, I had to overeat past my comfort point, and it was causing some digestive issues. So at a certain point in life, it's all about making compromises for the overall benefit of your health. There's a whole lot of stuff I'd love to do that I just don't feel is in my overall best interest. Um, like sometimes I think about getting back into ultra running. Mocha's getting back into ultra running. Um, but emotionally, I don't think crowds, being around other runners, even ultra runners, and it's sometimes spaced out, just doesn't seem to be in my emotional health interest. Right now, life is calling me to retreat, to recover, um, to just keep things on a low level, you know, not, I don't, I've spent an entire life doing extreme stuff, from extreme recreational stuff to what might be considered extreme sports, extreme workouts, extreme diets, um, extreme spiritual practices. And what life seems to be telling me right now is relax, relax, and relax. The things that I do, as far as my practice, might be considered extreme for some, but nothing's really pushed that hard, that difficult. You know, I was up at 2:55 this morning and I did my breath work. I meditated. Um, I did my longer yoga routine, had my coffee, I wrote, I went out for my walk, and it's still all that. And the sun's even isn't even up yet. I feel like I get a whole lot done in those early hours, and I get it done in a solitary fashion, completely on my own. It's a magical time for me. I absolutely love that deep quiet, as deep as I can find it, because it always seems nowadays that there's an airplane flying overhead or that you hear some kind of traffic in the distance, but it's still more quiet than 9 o'clock in the morning when the leaf blowers start and the lawnmowers get here and traffic's off the charts and the airplanes increase. Lots of runners and loud conversations with each other. Not saying any of that's bad, but none of it's good for me, if that makes sense. That, hey, if you're running, if you have a friend that you run with and you enjoy the conversation, who am I to say don't do it? It bothers me. Um, that to me doesn't make sense. I shouldn't intrude on your enjoyment in life any more than I wish you to intrude in mine. So you give everyone the space that they need to be, to do. At the same time, I think that I think the vast majority of people are missing out on quality silence, that they are always trying to fill what they think of as a void with electronics, with conversation, even with lots and lots of thinking and daydreaming and imagining, um, projecting, never spending time in that quiet place. Because the truth about exploring that void is you find that it's the possibility for all things to spontaneously occur. Without spending time in that void, you never get to know your true self, and you never get comfortable with that silence. And in the end, all you're going to be left with is silence. You're going to take that last breath and you're going to be confronted with that silence. Befriend it now, and you're free, absolutely free. This is why the Sufis and the Buddhists say, die before you die. Don't wait. Make friends with death, as Carlos Castaneda used to talk about. Our friend Lawn Lifters is here. How are you, my friend? And let's see. Destiny says, I love solitude time too. It's me, myself, and the universe. Uh, hashtag my being time. Exactly. Um, that's the only time you really begin to understand that, as you're fond of saying, Destiny, that we are the universe and the universe is us. Um, Without that, and once to befriend that silence, noise matters less because you can always return to silence, and you know that silence is the underlying ground, the underlying bedrock, the underlying capacity for all the sounds to occur. So you always carry that solitude, no matter who you're with. You always carry that solitude and that silence with you. And that's a beautiful place to be. And it's a peaceful place to be. And it can do you a whole lot of favors because it's easier to recharge. It's easier to get a grip, the word's eluding me. Um, it's easier to find your own true self, I guess, is the single best way of explaining it. And it's available all the time. So you're never truly lost. Society only draws you out just enough for you to engage, but not enough that you're fully entangled. That entanglement of constantly doing, constantly finding yourself in the busyness of life. And that for me is, at this point, at my age, I hate bringing age into the conversation, um, but the thought of finding my way back into that busyness um, is an unpleasant thought, quite a bit so. So that's why I am working hard and getting wonderful advice from my friend Destiny on building up. Milk and I were talking about this earlier. The amount of time it takes to build up any kind of um, financial security by doing something like on YouTube. That it might take a while. That even um, the bigger names, even those who are making it big on YouTube, it took them some time. Understandable, but I'm not looking to make it big. I have very simple needs. I've explained this before. Um, I can get by on just a little over 1,000 a month, paying my bills and have money left over. I have, a few other little sources of income here and there, um, teaching meditation, teaching breath work, a little bit of uh, personal training left over from my personal training days that helped out a little bit. So, hey, I'm not looking to be a YouTube star, but if I can earn 1,500 a month, 1,600 a month, I'm gold. I'm as rich with $1,600 a month. I'm as rich as any of the richest people that you can name because my bills are paid. I have the simple food that I eat on the table, and I get to save a little bit of money as well. Um, I get to buy the occasional book, the occasional pair of running shoes, um, things along those lines. That's the goal for me, um, which I think, and again, having this conversation fairly often with Destiny, I think it's doable. You know, not all of us need to keep striving for goal after goal after goal, financial or otherwise. One of the things I learned from doing a 100-mile race is, hey, once you've run 100 miles, you don't need to run 101 miles. That sometimes just getting out there, just enjoying it, just the simplicity of life itself that I've been granted, favored, given life, this gift of simply being alive, simply being. What more? Why do I always have to fill it with something other? Why do I always have to um, keep having this sense of achievement, a sense of purpose? A lot of people mistake the word dharma with purpose. And there's a big, big difference. Your dharma isn't your purpose in life. Your dharma is your life itself. It's your path that has many means of expressing itself. But in the end, your dharma is how you express yourself, how you express yourself as life. Have you lived creatively? Have you lived spiritually? Have you lived uh, with kindness and compassion and empathy towards others? These are the things that truly, truly matter. And if someone were to say, um, can you explain the yogic lifestyle? That would be it. Live your dharma and realize the difference between dharma and purpose. Your purpose might be to be a financial wizard on Wall Street. Awesome. Might be to be a teacher. Might be to be in a band. It might be to do burpees in your basement, um, or to talk about nonsense on YouTube. But that's not your dharma. Your dharma is the creative expression behind all the things that you're doing. That's been a huge difference for me in life, because I used to always feel um, not having a true purpose. I can't say my purpose was to work in retail. Um, Boy, what a pretty, for me, um, low level sense of purpose. However, if I think in terms that my dharma is to help people, well, then working retail takes on a whole new meaning, because in that regards, I get to help people every day, or I did when I was low level management, mid level management in um, retail, health food, supplements, stuff like that. Um, and I could steer people away from the stuff that really didn't work, really didn't help, wasting their money, especially senior citizens who would think that if I buy this, it's going to cure this or help this. And the vast majority, not all, but the vast majority of supplements simply don't do what they claim to do. And they don't have to do what they claim to do, because there's very little um, FDA control. Lon Lipton says, a nice run walk on the treadmill, Dr. Destiny. So then I favored you. Um, that was really nice. Destiny is awesome on the treadmill. She, if someone were to say to me or ask me, what do you think uh, Dr. Destiny's Dharma is? I could only say joy. Her Dharma is joy, spreading joy, giving joy, and being joyful. Um, and again, that doesn't negate ever being in a bad mood. It doesn't negate um, sometimes not feeling joyful, but the overall quality that you get whenever you're in contact with Dr. Destiny is one of joy and one of compassion, one of empathy. And that is no small gift. And best of all is Destiny has realized that about herself. And she's comfortable with that. And she presents that and offers it to others. That's a pretty, pretty amazing gift, in my opinion. So, man, I would urge everyone, just examine your life and ask yourself, have some self inquiry, asking yourself, am I doing, or as Don Juan said to Carlos Castaneda, and then Jack Cornfield used it in the title of his book, ask yourself, does this path have heart? And if it does, you're on the right path. If it doesn't, here's the opportunity. Get on the right path. What is it? I have no idea. But we all have one. And it doesn't mean that it always has to be the same. Um, because sometimes in life, a path with heart will take a twist, will take a turn. It'll have a V, it'll have a fork, and you have a choice to make. Lon Lipson says, and that's beautiful and it's love. I agree 100%. It's absolutely love. Um, and that's another huge realization when you realize that um, Living your life in joy is living a life of love. When you have compassion and empathy, you're giving that love away. And that when you're on the path with heart, you are literally walking the path of love. Destiny says, lawn lifters, you know what S word you used earlier? Just trying to pass along knowledge. Thanks, and I will see you at your place later. Um, I'm looking at the Destiny talking about the S word. I never understood that 100%. I know James Geit talks about that often. Um, so I don't use it because it's sort of been drilled in my head, but I never understood exactly why or why not. Um, so uh, since I'm here at my Google machine, um, highly recommend Carlos Castaneda, by the way. Really helps to immerse yourself in the mystery of the world. Um, let's get the exactly what Don Juan said with the path with heart. This is what Don Juan said to Carlos Castaneda. Don Juan was a native Mexican shaman in the Toltec tradition, and Don Juan was a anthropology student in the late 50s, early 1960s, and he wanted to interview Don Juan on power plants, particularly peyote. And he did, and he spent time with him and he experimented with it. What he didn't know was that Don Juan was also mentoring him in non ordinary reality. He would slap him on the back, and that would shift his assemblage point. The assemblage point is like where all the chakra energies gather and meet. And he would slap him specifically somewhere on the back, and his view of reality would shift. And then he would slap him again, and he would be back to everyday reality. The thing is, he didn't always know when he returned that he was gathering that non ordinary reality information until later when he was able to recall it all. And he did so through a series of, I think, 9, could be mistaken, 9 books. Um, so here is what Don Juan said, The Path with Heart. Asking yourselves, does this path have heart? Does this path have a heart? If it does, the path is good. If it doesn't, it is of no use. Both paths lead nowhere, but one has a heart, the other doesn't. One makes for a joyful journey as long as you follow it. You are one with it. He continues, the path we travel, therefore, is a way of being in the world, a way of walking, a way of living. A path with a heart is the right path because it speaks to who you are and how we understand the world around us and our place in it. This means that we need to clearly understand our purpose and live each day to it, according to it. Little things to keep in mind. Sorry, guys. And then later, 1990s, Jack Kornfield, who is a Buddhist monk, used it as a title of his book, A Path with Heart. Jack Kornfield is a wonderful meditation teacher, Buddhist meditation teacher, and I actually have his book. I'm slowly reading through for the second or third time on Buddhist psychology. Very important and meaningful book for me. Very much in alignment with the Eightfold Path of yoga. So I'm looking at a few quotes um, from Jack Kornfield. Whatever happens does not really matter. When we let go of our battles and open our hearts to things as they are, then we come to rest in the present moment. This is the beginning and the end of spiritual practice. Only in this moment can we discover that which is timeless. So, highly, highly recommend Carlos Castaneda. I highly recommend Jack Kornfield. His book, After the Ecstasy, The Laundry, was an important book for me several decades ago as part of my meditation practice. So, guys, with that, we're going to end the day a little bit early. I usually try to get half an hour to an hour on a live session in the afternoon, but since I got a late start getting my turtle videos in, which I'm going to post at least one in a little bit. Destiny says, very beautiful words, Eric. Definitely. Carlos Castaneda and Jack Kornfield both have a way with stating the obvious in such a beautiful way. So, guys, Destiny, lawn lifters, and who else did we have here? I know Hybrid Jim. Always appreciate seeing Hybrid Jim here. There was one other person, right? I know I'm forgetting someone, and I apologize. I thought there was one more, but I don't see it. Hybrid Jim, I hope you're enjoying your dinner. Destiny, enjoy the rest of your day. Guys, I'll be back like 5:15 Eastern time. I'm going to read from my blog. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to read. Maybe Back to Nature. Maybe do some more yoga readings, meditation. Always love writing and reading about the mantra. But we'll see. Never know what I'm going to read until I find it. Go to my blog, almost have my eyes closed, and I just scroll through, and bam, that's it for the day. That's what I read. So come along and join me then if you want to. Always appreciate it when you do. I have been told to always say like, share, and subscribe. And you know what? I almost never say it because I just don't remember. But today I do. So please like and subscribe and share. I'd appreciate it. You guys have a good day, and I'll see y'all later. Destiny says, thanks for all the quotes and knowledge that you share. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you too, my friend. Thank you.